All right, let's talk about something we've all probably wondered about. That super awkward, confusing, and, let's be honest, deeply human experience of laughing when you know you shouldn't be. You know the moment, that feeling of pure horror when a giggle escapes at the worst possible time? Well, today, we're going to figure out exactly why that happens.
Okay, be real with me for a second. Have you ever been in a super serious situation, like a funeral or while someone's giving you some really bad news, and you feel that dreaded little bubble of laughter rising up? It's just a bizarre feeling, isn't it?
You can almost feel it now, right? Picture it. The room is dead silent. The mood is just heavy. And out of nowhere, your own body decides, you know what would be great right now? A laugh. And you try to fight it, which of course only makes it 1,000 times worse.
So what is going on there? Well, there's actually a name for this. It's called a paradoxical reaction. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Your body is doing the total opposite of what the situation calls for. It's this massive disconnect between your brain, your body, and what you know you're supposed to be doing.
This right here really breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you have the expected response, tears, quiet respect, sadness. And on the other side, you've got the actual response that sometimes happens, a giggle, a full-on laugh. It feels like your brain just totally glitched out.
And that's where your mind immediately goes, right? Is something wrong with me? Am I a terrible person? Why is my body betraying me right now? It's such a common fear, but I'm here to tell you, the answer is a big, resounding no. There is nothing wrong with you.
In fact, it's the opposite. Your brain is actually doing something incredibly clever. So let's get into the science of it, because this isn't some moral failing. Nope, it's a really fascinating defense mechanism that's hardwired into us. So this all boils down to something called an involuntary stress response. Now, the key words here are involuntary and automatic. This isn't a choice you're making. It's a reflex, you know? Just like when you flinch at a loud noise, or when your heart starts racing before a big presentation. You're not telling it to happen, it just does.
And this is the absolute heart of it. When your brain gets hit with a massive wave of emotion, like intense grief or anxiety, it can get completely overloaded. It's too much to handle at once, so it has to find a way to hit the brakes and bring you back from that emotional cliff.
You know, the best way to think about this is like a release valve. When you're in these high-stress situations, all this emotional energy and tension builds up inside you, kind of like steam in a pressure cooker. It has to go somewhere, right?
This quote really just nails it. That pressure has to find a way out. And believe it or not, laughter is an amazing physical release. It makes you exhale, it contracts a bunch of your muscles, it can even trigger chemical changes in your brain that actually help you to calm down.
So let's just walk through the process step by step. First, that emotional tension builds up and up. Second, your brain goes, whoa, okay, this is too much, and it looks for a way to get things back under control. And third, it hits the big red button labeled laughter to let all that pressure out. It's purely a biological coping strategy.
So, here's the big reframe. Instead of seeing that awkward laugh as a sign of disrespect, try to see it for what it is, your brain's protective instinct kicking into high gear. It's a sign that you are so deeply affected by what's happening that your brain needs to do something drastic to keep you from totally short-circuiting. And honestly, just understanding this can be a game changer. It turns a moment of deep shame into a real aha moment of self-awareness. So next time it happens, instead of trying to fight it, which just adds more tension, you can just acknowledge what's happening. Acknowledge that your brain's just trying to help you out.
Okay, so let's recap what we've learned. First, nervous laughter is a totally normal, involuntary stress response. Second, it is a sign of high emotional tension, not a lack of respect. Third, it's just your brain's go-to method for releasing pressure and getting back in the driver's seat. And maybe most importantly of all, you are definitely not the only one who does this.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. The next time you feel that inappropriate giggle coming on, or maybe you see it happen to someone else, how will you see it differently? Will you be able to see it not as a personal flaw, but as a sign of a brain doing its absolute best to protect itself?